space here on earth. Never give up. I'm trying to paraphrase the talk because I know we started late so as to quickly go. And this is 7th point. To succeed in life, you must be a dealer in hope. No matter what happens to you in life, you must take a resolute determination to make those things work for your good. Use it as opportunities to reinvent yourself, to renew your desire to move forward, to refuse to give up, to practice rejoicing, to overcome rejection by believing in yourself and in your God. You must learn to run with perseverance. In achieving your goals, you must not give up. You must have grit and perseverance. I can tell you life can be tough. Also, life also can be tender. And we may navigate different routes. But the important thing is not the route you navigate, but never to give up until you get to the final end. I want to say that pains are not usually fatal, and they are not final. It is only those who are tough-minded that win. Dennis Green said, the secret of success is to start from the scratch and keep on scratching. Determined to go on in the race in spite of setbacks and challenges. Develop an inner drive and that keeps you in the game when everything else says it is time to quit. Have a clear vision of where you are going. Persevering is easier when you have a mental picture of your destination. Be tenacious as you cross the rivers of adversity in your pursuit of your vision and success. Angela Duckworth, who is now being called the living authority on the word grit. This is a woman academic psychologist, a world-leading expert on grit. This woman did a lot of work among Chicago public schools people. I know Chicago can be challenging. And then she found out that those students who will graduate, in spite of all the problems they have, were those who had grit. And she defined grit as pursuing your passion, with perseverance. Perseverance and passion for the long-term goals. You have heard about Abraham Lincoln. This was a man who started his career in 1931 and failed in almost everything. And you find that in your notes. He failed when he contested for legislature. He failed when he had a nervous breakdown. He lost those that were dear to him. He contested for vice president and he lost. He lost his 4 beloved children, but he never gave up. And in 1986, Abraham Lincoln was elected President of America. He became one of the greatest presidents America had ever had. Lincoln said, your dreams are all within reach. As long as you never stop believing when pursuing your big dream. Also remember Winston Churchill. When Winston Churchill was called to speak to his alma mater, and then the same thing that he said to them from being exterminated as an earthly citizen. He said, never giving, never, never, in nothing great or small, large or petty, never giving except to convictions of honor and good sense, never yield to force, never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy. You remember Thomas Edison. This is a man who discovered the electric bulb, and has done 10,000 inventions. His story is intriguing. As a young student, age 4, he was given a note for his mother from his teacher. And the note wrote, your tummy is too stupid to learn. We cannot have it in our school. After this, he was home schooled by his mother and taught him arithmetic, writing, and reading. So he only had 3 months of public school. At the age of 12, he developed hearing problems due to the bout of scarlet fever in childhood and recurrent otitis media. He became completely deaf in one ear. He later famously failed 10,000 times in his experiment. When asked, he said, I have not failed. I've only found 10,000 ways that won't work. Edison's famous inventions include multiplex telegraph, monograph, and then the electric bulb. Please don't ever give up. Don't allow anything push you to get discouraged. And suicide is never an option. Depression should never be entertained. Ursula Grant said, everyone has his superstition. One of mine has always been, when I start to go anywhere or to do anything, I never turn back or stop until the thing intended is accomplished. Apostle Paul said, but one thing I do, forgetting the things that are behind, I press forward to the things that are ahead. I press towards the goal. Elizabeth Backwell, this was the first woman physician. She was discriminated against. People laughed at her in America, but she persisted and persisted. And then you can see from my writings how many great things Backwell did. Elijah Saunders was a man who was a visionary and he broke the color barrier. So medical school could not take him, but he persisted. And later, he became one of the great black physicians in the world. Edward Jenny, who was that great physician who made a breakthrough in immunology and gave us the pathway to smallpox treatment. This man was ridiculed and laughed at, but he held on, and then he became very successful. Levi Watkins was a heart surgeon and a civil rights activist. Because he was a civil rights activist, people could not take him in any of the schools. But the man persisted. Later, he became a resident in cardiac surgery in Johns Hopkins University. And he was the creator of the first defibrillator. Look at all these men and look at their lives. When Albert Einstein brought out the law of relativity, he was laughed at, he was ridiculed. But with the force of his conviction, with a never give up attitude, he succeeded. I've always been astonished by a man called Paul in the Bible. When they told him about threats to his life, he says, none of these things move me. I have a philosophy which I call oculum ementum. Keep your eyes on the goal. Whatsoever happens in life, keep your eyes on the goal. And if you get out of the goal, you fail. You've heard the famous story of the two men who were running the mile race. One of them was from, I think, Australia or so. Another one was from Britain. And they were trying to compete who would be the best 1 miler in the world. And the first one, I think from Australia, was doing well, from Australia, doing so well. But as he was about to get to the tape, he looked back. During that period of looking back, the man from England surpassed him. Don't look back. Don't look sideways. If you look back, you are retrogressing. If you look sideways, you are distracted. If you look down, you'll be depressed. If you look straight, you'll be successful. I want to say, the eighth thing I want to say is that go into the nations. You see, although you are here, situated in this country, I want you to begin to think globally. WHO told us that health is not just a local thing, but it's a global thing. They tell us to think globally, but act locally. I want you to do all your best to get all the skills that you need to be a good doctor. Get it anywhere in the world. Get it as much as you can. Time will not allow me to tell you that I received the British Thoracic Award in 1993. 70 people were shortlisted in the world for that offer, and I was the only one granted that year. But after 2 years, I came back home, having gained the skills I've acquired. I came back home in 1995, and then I said, between 1995 and 2004, what I have accomplished, it would have been 100 times what I would ever accomplish in UK. And that's what made the United Nations University to invite me as a guest speaker to speak. That day, the Netherlands embassy closed their embassy at 6 in the evening, just to ensure that I have a visa. So what I want to tell you is that I wouldn't tell you to stay in Nigeria and just stay there. But I want you to go around the world, get the situation in Nigeria. And they were talking about the bad government in the country. I looked at one of them who is a pediatrician and a consultant, and I said, have you ever sunk a borehole in your mother's house? Have you ever sunk a borehole in your community? And if I go down to your house, I'll find out that your mother is still using wood as a means of combustion. You see, you cannot look at other people. You are responsible. One, if you change your world around you, then the world outside you will be changed. I've been enthused by a footballer called Manny. It's a Senegalese professional footballer, who dedicates himself not only to learning or earning the money he can, but to use the money to benefit his people back home by donating $250,000 in 2019 to build a school in his hometown, and also donating £500,000 to build an hospital in 2021. Let that be your quest. Do not just say, I am a migrant, and show your impact in the world around you. Number 9, gradually coming towards the end, and I wouldn't say too many finalists. I want you to have a great heart of gratitude. The word gratitude is derived from the Latin word gratia, which means gratefulness, grace, graciousness. The Vice Chancellor has told you that you must be good to your parents. You must be good to your teachers. You must always learn to say thank you. I graduated from medical school about the age 24. From the age 24 to when my dad died at the age 93, I gave them money every month. I gave money to my dad and I gave money to my mom. I bought provisions for the house consistently. Whether we were paid or not, it was a culture. Many times I would ask my parents, is there anything more I have not done? One day when I told my dad that, he literally wept. He said, my son, you have done everything that we should do. And every now and then, before my mom died, a year or so before my mom died, my mom woke me up every 6 a.m. And she would pray all manner of prayer for me until she could not pray again. And then she died at the age of 84. And when she died at the age of 84, I felt that she should have gone to 90. You see, let me tell you, you are not an island. You are a conglomeration of different people. You must always not forget the root that you came from. If you forget the root that you came from, it will distract you and you are heading for doom. Look at someone and remember how he helped you. The teacher will encourage you. Until today, my 2 great professors in the University of Ibadan, I always come to them in December. They know it. And anything that they say they want, I'm ready to do it. The best revenge is love. Harvard Medical School wrote in the article, giving thanks make you happier. There was a research that was done in which they found out that a thankful appreciation for what an individual receives, whether tangible or intangible, with gratitude, people acknowledge the goodness in their life as a result. Gratitude will help people connect to something larger than themselves as individuals, whether to other people, to nature, or a higher power. There was a research by Emmons and Macaulay, which was done in a landmark study in 2003. They randomly divided more than 100 undergraduates into 3 groups. One group was asked to list 5 things they were grateful for during the first week for 10 consecutive weeks. The second group listed 5 things that annoyed them each week. And the third group simply listed 5 events that have occurred. They also completed a detailed questionnaire about their physical and mental health before, during, and after. The study found out that those who listed their blessings each week had fewer health complaints, exercised more regularly, and felt better about their lives in general than the other 2 groups. Gratitude attracts more blessings. It inspires the giver to give benevolence and strengthens their relationship with others. Always take a step back and consider the good things that have happened to you and ruminate in this more and more. The English proverb says, thank you is derived from the word thank. And anyone that can think, and anyone that can think can be thankful. Jesus Christ says, in the world you will find tribulation, but be of good cheer. And Habakkuk fig tree does not blossom, although fruit be not on the vines, though the labor of the vine may fail, and the fields yield no fruit, though the flock may be cut off from the fold, and there be no head in the store, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will rejoice in the God of my salvation. Then the 10th one here is, I want to say, commit all to God. Now, this is a school that is founded on Christian principles, and I want to encourage you not to forget the God who has created you. I tell people that there's no atheist in this world. The time is going to come in everyone's life when you realize there's a higher power that surrounds human beings. The living verse of my life, the verse that I've ever meditated upon all my life, has been in Proverbs 3, 5, 6. And this was by the wisest man that lived upon the surface of the earth. The wisest man, the richest man. And the Message Bible put it this way. It said, trust God from the bottom of your heart. Don't try to figure out everything on your own. Listen to God's voice in everything you do, everywhere you go. He is the one that will keep you on track. Please don't forget it. Knowing God, Socrates says, is the greatest state of the human soul. One man said, our heart will find no joy until it finds joy in God. One philosopher said there's a cosmic loneliness in every one of us. And that cosmic loneliness can only be filled by God. So I encourage you to find God. And I encourage you to think of God. Now I want to go to my final words so I can conclude these things. Since I've given you the book and you have the record. Today your country is bleeding. Today your country has blasted hope. And the world has suddenly gone out of an epidemic, and we are also afraid that another epidemic will come. Everywhere around us, there is calamity. People are afraid that the Ukraine war, which looks so small, may dovetail into something very big. Now, because of the apathy in the world, some would ask, why am I graduating a world so disastrous? Why am I graduating a world that has lost its meaning? Recently, one of the commentators in Arise News says, we have had several presidents in this country, and we have always hoped that something will be better. And from one president to the other, things never get better. I want to tell you that don't react to the world, respond to the world. I want to encourage you that Shakespeare said something in the Julius Caesar, and that was Cassius. He said, the fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves that we are underlining. Nelson Mandela said, in spite of the several years he has had in prison, in spite of the torture, he said, I am the master of my faith and the captain of my destiny. Napoleon Hill, who wrote the best-selling book in the world, Think and Grow Rich, said, you are the master of your destiny. You can influence, direct, and control your own environment. You can make your life what you want it to be. Paul said, every man shall give an account of himself before God. John F. Kennedy said, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Theodore Roosevelt said, in a moment of decision, the best thing you can do is to do the right thing. The next best thing you can do is to do the wrong thing. And the worst best thing you can do is to do nothing. Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world.